Hello there, beautiful people of the internet. This is Brandon with Crypto Trades and Tech. We're going to take a little bit look at this Bitcoin price action here this afternoon. A lot of people seem like they're on edge. We saw this big sell-off here when this price lost its trend line. We sold off straight down to the bottom of this pennant that I drew up, this bullish pennant here this morning. I was looking at this price action all through here and noticed this bullish pennant. So I've drawn this up. I just want to talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and try to ease some concerns. So I myself was just not too long ago really looking to see if Bitcoin was going to give us a larger 40% correction back to something. A lot of people don't agree with me on using my moving averages, but the 120-day moving average is at 36.6, and I still contend that we're probably going to come back to this level at some point, but it looks like it's going to be later. I still think we have another impulse up in Bitcoin, and here's why I say that. The breakout here and the rejection, and this is still consolidating. We haven't lost any bullish momentum, namely this bottom trend line that we have here and these outer touches that we have here. We haven't lost those levels yet, so we're still very much in a very strong uptrend. I don't see any signs of resumption downward just yet. So I'm watching this bullish pennant structure. If we're to lose this, I'll be watching very closely to see what happens with this trend line level down here. And there's some other levels on the daily to take a look at, namely this level at 52,000 right here, and then 51.5 is really another really critical level. You look all the way back over here. That was the last little bullish structure right before this breakout, and then this false breakout, and then it fell back below it, and that was resistance for a while. So that's another level to look at. And then lastly, our last level is when we connect the dots here from the all-time high back in 2017 through the impulse up in January, and then the sell-off after the next impulse up to late February, the sell-off that went through late February, that it's a beautiful trend line that goes right through there. So to me, this is kind of the, as long as we maintain this line here, we're looking very bullish. And so even if we lost this trend line here, I would be getting defensive on my trades. Now, I did a live last night, and I talked about how I lightened up when we lost this level right here, the 58,385. When I saw that we were going to resume down off of that, I got light on my leverage trades. Actually, I closed completely my leverage trades up here, just thinking that we were going to consolidate a bit more in this bullish structure that we have here. Now, some of the altcoins are really taking a beating here in this little bit of a sell-off. So I see that Ethereum I drew up another pennant structure here kind of on this one. This is more of a flag than a pennant, but nonetheless, this one broke down out of this consolidation pattern here. Ethereum did. We'll see if this ends up being a wick down, but now this is going to become resistance up here. Obviously, this trend line up here in this level is going to become resistance. Let's take a look at the daily levels, see if we can find a daily level. This might be the level that becomes ultimately resistance right here. That's 1728. So I have to monitor. We're still above the prior all-time high of 1596, and we have some other support coming in here right around 1650 to 1600. Cardano fell below a support area that we were watching at 114. It looks like it might end up being a wick down below. This all looks to me across crypto like a shakeout, which are almost always, these little shakeouts precede the next leg up. You very frequently will get a big shakeout. Let's go back and I'll show you some examples here. So in Ethereum, people were probably pretty concerned as we came in. This little sell-off right here, this breakout, this sell-off here. I remember a lot of people being very concerned about these sell-offs here before we made a huge leg up. But back here, you can see there's a lot of instances where you have a sell-off before the next impulse, and they're more pronounced over here. But you can see that this big sell-off here, consolidation pattern. But these sell-offs are unnecessary evil, unfortunately, in the markets to shake out the weak hands, and so this is just what happens. This is what happens in the market. So we have to always be prepared Now, so again, I'm watching this pennant structure to see if this area holds here. If we lose that, then we're coming down to this area. We'll see what happens there. And if we lose that area and then we start to lose the 51,586 level, then, you might definitely start to get defensive on any trades. I would not be looking to pick up any trades until we get outside. I'm watching, for me personally, this outer trend line right here. So the very top touches on the 4-hour on Bitcoin. And I've cloned that a little bit lower, but I'll wait for us to get back outside of here and get some clear air. We have to stay above this trend line for me, and clear above this. But even if we don't, even if we fall below this trend line, we'll just have to watch. It might be just a longer consolidation pattern. What I was really concerned about, let me share this with you. On my long-term log chart, if you go back to last market cycle, I've talked about this quite a bit. There's going to be a period of time where we have a prolonged period of time where we're below a key level. So like this, you see here how long we were really almost sideways from this peak up here. If you were unfortunate enough to buy Bitcoin on May 24th at $2,700, several months later in the middle of the bull market, May, June, July, August, 4 months later in September, price wicked down to just a few $100s north of where you had bought. And this is in the midst of the bull market. So it's very easy for people to get shaken out of their positions. You see this coming down and you don't want to exit at break even or a loss. So you might have been unfortunate enough to sell there. But you can see ultimately this price action here, we got to a peak of about 3,000, and 3,000 was the area. So from June 10th or 11th, maybe June 11th, all the way through August. So the entire month of July, we were underneath this peak here. So it was over 30 days. And if you look at it on a monthly candle, Heath talked about this in an update video he did. You look at it as far as monthly candles go, it doesn't look that bad, but you see there were all green candles through there for the monthly, but that peak right there and this peak here, we were basically below it for the entire month of July. So that can happen again. We're going to have probably a point where it's a couple of months and maybe even a red candle. We'll have a red print probably for a monthly candle at some point. Just be aware that might be coming. Well, that is probably most certainly going to be coming at some point in this bull market. It's what I call the summer kind of doldrums here. And altcoins during that phase are especially going to bleed out. I do believe we get one more impulse here, though, before we have that prolonged period under the new peak that we're going to make next. But we could also very well, the peak could be 61,500 or 62,000 basically. There's nothing that says that we can't consolidate under this for a couple of months. So just be aware that might be a possibility. I would say that if we lose this trend line right here and we get a resumption down off of these levels, we're likely in that scenario now to where we're going to be basically, it's a very similar action, right? A false breakout after an all-time high, a false breakout, and then it went down. This 58,570 level might be something that we're under for a couple of months before we break out back above it. So if that were to occur, then we would be back down potentially to the 40s or even the high 30s before we found a bottom again. But for right now, we're watching this pennant and this trend line. We're still above both of those. There's nothing too terribly concerning at this very moment in time. All right, everybody take care. Thank you. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe. Thank you for all the support.